Hi everybody, Mischa here for Word of the Day, and there it is. Ailurophile. What does this noun ailurophile mean? Cat lover. That's it, cat lover. Now, where does it come from? Well, ailurophile was coined, and the difference, of course, between a coined word and most other words is that there is no etymological trail back to where it came from because it's invented on the spot at a particular time for a particular reason. And in this case, ailurophile was coined by a psychologist and educator named G. Stanley Hall. And this happens a lot in science where we need a word for something, and so we'll go back to the Greek. And in fact, ailurophile is Greek for cat lover. Okay, now what happened was in 1914, Hall was writing an article on phobias for the American Journal of Psychology. And when he got to ailurophobia, the pathological fear of cats, which that word, by the way, had only been coined 10 years earlier by another psychologist, he felt that he needed to point out that even though there was this thing, ailurophobia, a pathological fear of cats, that there was also this other thing, ailurophiles, people who absolutely loved cats. And thus he coined the word. And so it's actually a pretty new word. But even though the word is new, because words come into our language when we need them, the phenomenon of people who are ailurophiles, even cultures that are that way, goes all the way back, right? So, of course, the ancient Egyptians, really venerated cats, and even today there are countries like Japan where everybody's an ailurophile. They love cats. Hello Kitty, right? Cat cafes. The city of Istanbul, which is renowned for its urban cat management. Those cats in Istanbul, oh my gosh, they've got feeding stations. They take them to the vet. They're fixed. They're perhaps one of their holiest sites, the Sophia Hagia, the mosque, has its own cat. Okay, but my experience with ailurophiles was, or an ailurophile place, was Venice. And I was living in Italy. I was visiting Venice, and I noticed that in the park there were cats instead of squirrels. And I asked my Italian friend about it, and I don't know if this story is true, but I'll tell you, I want it to be true. What he told me was that the cats in Venice had always been, of course, not just tolerated, but appreciated because they kill the vermin. They kill all the rats and things, right? But they got this new mayor who decided that those cats couldn't be left to go out there on their own recognizance, and they had to be controlled. And so I'm just going to pick a date, April 1st, because that's a Fool's Day. Every cat in Venice that didn't have a collar on would be going to the pound. And I looked around at all these cats and said, so what happened? Because I see a lot of cats here. He said, well, on April 1st, every cat in Venice had a collar on. There you go. Okay, so how can we use this word ailurophile today? Easy peasy. How about this? I am a shameless ailurophile. And if you're curious about those places like Istanbul or Venice, you might want to pick up a book like this, Venice, Lion City. Venice is an amazing, amazing place. It's different from any place you've ever been. And so if you want to hear all get the inside story on Venice, buy a book like this, but not from the big boys. We're not giving them any of our money. We're going to support independent booksellers by clicking above or below at books, excuse me, bookshop.org/shop/word of the day, and I'll see you later.